right, we're back.
Yeah.
Episode 3 of an
Yes.
A and B conversation. And as you can see now, we do talk a lot. Hence the reason, the conversation.
The
Anyway, B, are
conversation.
you ready? Get our gloss on.
Yes.
Okay,
Always
we got to get glossed up first.
gotta
All
get
right, here we go.
up. Mm.
And today's topic, one of B's most favorite and probably one of the most important things for us. And I know we keep saying as we get older, but guess what? Every day you get older.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do
Yeah.
about it. However,
I go ahead.
balance and stability, which is something B works on with us all the time, regardless of what we're doing. There's always an element of balance in there because think about how many people fall. Think about how many people injure themselves. Think about, I don't even know. B probably knows, like, when do we start losing our ability to balance effectively?
Oh, age 30.
Ooh,
Age 30.
yikes.
Yes.
That's
A
not
lot
good.
of things happen. I want to say age 30 is like that point where things start happening. We start losing some muscle, we start losing our balance, our stability. Things just start changing. Some will say maybe closer to 40, but depending on what you've been doing, if you haven't been working out, if you haven't been working
Right,
on these things or doing any sort of physical fitness or a sport,
right.
you start, or if you've had injuries, injuries are huge. We
Mhm.
just start losing that stability and that balance literally age 30. And then our bones we start to get bone loss around 30 as
And
well.
muscle loss, our muscles we can atrophy very quickly.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, back to, for the ladies, perimenopause is anywhere from age 35 to 45. And
Yeah.
that's when we start losing so much. Our
Hmm.
estrogen levels go crazy. The muscle loss happens, the balance, coordination, cognitive,
Hmm.
and you start getting that brain fog. So much
Hmm.
starts to happen in our 30s. So we think we're still invincible during those times, but it's like, no, this is where we need to really focus. And, stuff that we were doing because we were working out in our 30s, in our 20s. I was teaching Pilates and working out in that time, but it's more of balance stuff too, not just, working out. Like, okay, can you stand on one leg and hold yourself
Hmm.
and balance? And not even doing that, can you balance on a small surface?
Hmm.
Like a little two by four or whatever. Can you stand
Well,
on one leg?
with the motor, it's elevated, and you're always having a stand up, and sometimes, oh, just use one foot as a small kickstand and balance on one leg, and at the same time doing, some kind of upper body movement, or even putting an element of a squat or something, and coordinating those two things together. It's crazy how quickly that can go. And there's days where you wake up and your balance isn't great
Right?
for whatever reason. Maybe you're not feeling great, or maybe you have a head cold. Think about
Yes.
the things that impact, your balance.
Oh, inner ear things,
Oh, yeah.
vertigo. Vertigo can start happening as people
Hmm.
age too, and then there really goes your balance. You feel
Yeah.
like all over the place. Imbalance is also in your muscles. We tend to have a stronger side and a weaker side.
Yeah.
Maybe there's been an injury, so that side is not as strong. So trying to incorporate balances within the musculature too, which
Hmm.
is super important, just to keep us upright, keep us from falling down, keep us from injury, you
Right.
know. But it's balance all around. I always like to say it's not just, holding my leg up and balancing on one leg, but it's balance, mentally too. We have to
Yeah.
have life balance as well. Stability in our everyday life, having those workouts scheduled, but also scheduling other things in our life too that
Hmm.
are important. You have to
Right.
have that full balance. Like when people first start Pilates, or what I've had happen to me, is they say, "Oh, how often should I do this? Should I be doing this every day?" I'm like, no, no.
Mm-mm.
You need to do other things too.
Right.
You need to
Right.
have balance. Maybe do it twice a week and incorporate something else twice a week. You have
Mm-hmm.
to have all these different elements to balance everything out. And that's going to help with stability too in our body, is challenging different things, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, when we do our weights, you always have us do like a static hold, but in a lunge, one foot lifted in the back, on toes, the other foot stable in the front, and really always testing. And you can see sometimes you
Mhm.
wobble and other times you don't. It really depends on which, like you said, and we know we both have dominant sides when it comes to, but those are also the sides that tend to get the most sore, the ones that tend to, you have to like work a little harder to get them to loosen up because those are the
Mhm.
ones we tend to let dominate.
Yeah, absolutely. And it could have been from an injury too, why we have one side stronger than the
Hmm.
other.
Hmm.
So also looking into, physical therapy, doing those little things to help, why is my foot doing this weird thing? Well,
Right,
maybe we need to do more foot positioning, foot
right,
stretches, mobility, or go to a physical therapist and have some help with that so you can learn how to work your muscles correctly. I think
right.
that's super important. When we talked about that before, is form,
Yeah,
making sure you are moving in correct form.
yeah.
That's, I think, super important because you can work out in bad form and
And it
hurt your.
doesn't, it actually hurt, it actually harms. I think it's more harmful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I know one of the things that I like is, and I know I say I like it even though I complain when we do it, is you have us on the steps and we're actually stepping down and touching our heel just from one step, but in
Hmm.
repetitive motion, repetitive
Right.
motion, strengthening that quad muscle that protects
Balance.
that knee. And you
Mhm.
have to balance doing it. Sometimes you're holding on to something and sometimes we're not. It's really, just creating um, that stability within your lower body. Because
Right.
if we don't, and you don't have strong core muscles and you don't have that lower body strength, and I'm not talking about huge muscles, just body strength to be able to get yourself out of a difficult, position without
Hmm.
harming yourself. But,
Absolutely.
like you said,
Absolutely.
learning to going up and down stairs regularly and do not touch the rails. Or
Yes.
like we did with our weights. Oh, what are you doing? Well, we're going to carry our weights downstairs while
I
we
know.
make pumpkin bread. And then we're going to turn around
We
and carry
were
our weights
baking.
upstairs. What are you
We
doing,
were
Mom?
baking. We were
We're
baking bread,
baking.
pumpkin bread, and we had a timer. And I was like, well, we have to go downstairs. Might as well hold a weight in one arm
Yeah,
and walk down the stairs and walk down and check the bread and then walk back up. We had to do
right.
that several times. And
Well,
it was,
remember that's the other thing in terms of the part that went hand in hand with balance, because sometimes we're holding a weight just in one hand and
yes.
we're doing something else. But the other thing was the grip strength as well. Remember, and I don't think we even really talk about that much as well, but your grip strength. Go think you want to be able to open a jar.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the grip strength, you want to be able to pull something out or grab
Right.
something. And there's been times where it's like, oh, it's harder, but since we've been doing the weights and we're holding things, I've noticed mine's improved quite a bit. And I
Oh,
don't have like
really
the
good.
arthritic pain in my thumbs
Yeah.
that I used to have because we're
Yes.
using
Yes.
them
You had that.
constantly between the
Right.
motor stuff and grabbing and how we're holding, whether we're holding the straps a certain way, and then we're also using strength,
Wait.
but the weights have been huge. And I know mine are those gigantic weights, but and they look like they're super heavy. They're not, but they're awkward, but they really do help. And I
Oh,
think about
absolutely.
grip strength,
Absolutely.
wrists, and how you hold, like don't hold your weight like this.
Right. You
Making
have to
sure
keep your
you
wrist
do
straight.
strengthen all these muscles. And
Right.
I think
Well,
that
even plank.
helps. Yeah.
Even holding plank, a lot of times we complain about the wrists in plank position, but we do have to practice that. You
Mhm.
do need to get that strength. And like you said, the grip strength, but also mobility. We get
Hmm.
really tight. You know what I've seen a lot? And for myself, texting with my
Oh
thumb.
yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, this is painful. I
Hmm.
need to stretch it out. I've had us do those stretches against the wall with your
Oh
hand.
yeah, those are great.
Those hurt, but you feel it all the
Yeah, that
way
one where we do it way
down.
up like this. Oh,
Yes.
just thinking
And
about it makes my hand
you
hurt.
don't realize, right? I know. It just even trying to pull our hands back,
Yeah.
stretch it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, holding weights is so important for, like you said, opening a jar, picking up something, holding on.
Well, even just writing, you know how sometimes your hand gets tired from writing.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
repetitive motion as well, but it just creates, um, I think it just helps overall the longevity and, the balance, stability, being able, that mobility. I think that's just the key. It's the balance, stability, and mobility combined together create, you know, um, just an overall wellness that you just don't think about.
Absolutely. We don't want to be 80 years old and not being able to do things for ourselves. I mean, I want
Hmm.
to be able to live in my home and be
Right,
independent and
right,
function, you
right.
know, for forever,
Yeah.
for as long as I can.
Well,
I'm
like yesterday, I was changing out my air filter here, and I have to get on a ladder and I have to
right.
reach up. And because we do so much balance and and training in the way where sometimes we're turning and we're displacing where we're looking, which
Yes,
can throw off your balance. And so we talk
absolutely.
about like turning and turning your head at the same time while we're in a balanced position on top of a stable roller. Where
Yes.
you're here
Or
like this.
BOSU
And
or
yeah,
the
oh, the
stability
BOSU, yeah, the
BOSU
BOSU.
trainer.
Oh, that's a whole nother
Ooh,
thing.
that's a
The
whole other
BOSU.
thing. BOSUs are awesome. I love BOSUs. You could do so much
I
with
do
them.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah, so much for stability, balance, and strength.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, something practical. You were changing out the filter and you needed to be able
And if
to
you have to
look
change out a
up,
light bulb in your
use
ceiling fan,
balance. Exactly. And you're balancing on a
you want to
ladder.
be able to do these things and not have to hire somebody to do it for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I read somewhere about back to grip strength is
Hmm.
that I think you're supposed to be able to hang from something, I think for at least a minute,
Okay.
straight arms and hold on and hang. And that is supposed to show your grip strength.
Hmm.
The longer you can hold it, the better. And there was another thing I read about being able to hold weights, kind of like we did the walking up
Yeah.
and down stairs,
What do
in
we,
each
but
hand.
what do you call that one where the milk
It's called a
cart,
farmer's carry.
the farmer's carry? That's what
Farmer's
milk.
carry. Yes,
The
it's a milk
milk
carry.
bucket.
You
The
could
milk
call it a
bucket.
milk carry. Milk bucket. But yeah, that farmer's carry. But again, heavy weight, trying
Heavyweight.
to hold on.
And all
And
we're doing is walking.
yeah, all we're doing is walking. I want to say you're supposed to be
Remember,
able to.
if you have that heavy weight and we're trying not to walk like this,
Exactly,
yeah, hold
exactly.
it straight up. Think about it. You carry your suitcase or you're carrying something, carrying grocery bags in one hand.
Right?
You don't want
Exactly.
to carry your grocery bags like this. Or your
Yes.
shopping bags. You never
Or your
know.
shopping bag. Yeah, hey, you might be getting a lot of clothes and
You
shoes.
never know. You never know.
You
You
never know. Need to be able to hold
take
on
your
to it,
big free and you need to be able to get all that gear to your car.
right? You got to load it up.
That's
Costco.
that could be motivation enough
Just think of Costco
for the farmer's carry. Oh,
for the farmer's carry.
got my
You need it
bags.
for shopping. You need it for shopping. But think Costco. How many times have you
Oh
gone to
yeah,
Costco and you have those big, huge
water.
the water and
You gotta
lifting?
lift it up and push it in. And you gotta, first of all, you gotta get it into the cart.
Exactly. And then
Then you
try to
gotta
get
get it out of the
it
cart and in your
out.
car. Then you gotta
And
get it
exactly.
home. And then you gotta set it on the ground. See, all these things
Exactly.
are working together to make our Costco shopping more efficient and not hinder us.
Exactly. It's back to our functional fitness.
Right, functional fitness. You too
Our
can go
functional
shopping at
fitness.
Costco when you are 90 years old.
Exactly. And you will not need help. And you will not need
Yes,
that electric cart
that's right.
to help you. Right? Even though they're kind of fun,
Yeah.
but I don't want to have to use
Because you
it.
have your balance, your stability,
Exactly. Exactly.
mental and physical. Remember?
Mental,
Continue
oh,
mental and
100%.
physical.
We need that mental balance because so much happens in our lives too. You
Yeah.
know, we need to have that mental balance. And you know what? I think exercise helps with that so, so much, psychologically.
Hmm.
Need exercise. It
Well,
is helps endorphins.
that's what I was just going to say. It's the endorphins that kind of kick in, and it takes, when I used to run, I ran one marathon, one and done, and didn't do it again. But the longer, the more active you are, the longer it does take for your endorphins to kick in. So for like runners, when they first start running, it takes at least 20 minutes for those endorphins to first kick in.
Mm,
So part of it is also, and endorphins are the happy drug. So
yes.
it's your body's natural happy drug. So when you're done, think about when you ask us at the end of every workout, how are you guys feeling? And from the start to the end, mentally, physically, we can bend over. I can bend over and just really like, I'm much more flexible by the time I'm done. I'm happier. I'm more
Hmm.
calm. I'm more at ease. It's a mental thing as well. And I think that's another important thing, especially for women who typically carry everybody's
Everything.
backpack.
Yes.
Try not
Yes.
to do anymore. But think about carrying everything, whether it's your kids and taking care of your house and, oh, I've got to do this appointment, or someone needs to go here, or this is coming up, or this event, or this holiday, or whatever it is.
Mhm.
We tend to be the managers of the
Right.
schedule and the calendar and what happens each day and who get the laundry done. And this has to get repaired and that has to get done. And it falls a lot on our shoulders. So to be able to have that mental clarity after, and some people are not, and some people, I get it, are not morning people. And so morning workouts aren't good for them. But it's so great if you could get up and just get 5, 10 minutes of something going. It really does help the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
exactly. Like go on a walk, something get you moving.
Hmm.
If you have to do a workout after work, that's, any time of day you can do, you can fit it
Right.
in. But any sort of movement you can do throughout the day too. Even
Hmm.
something as simple as parking your car further to
And
walk.
walking.
Yeah, and just walk further, walk up and down the stairs rather
There.
than taking an elevator. Doing all these are very simple things to get your body moving more. And
Hmm.
you don't realize how our lives have become so lazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It,
guess so. I didn't really
well,
think about
think of it. Think of we have garage door openers. We don't get out of the car and lift the
it.
garage
Oh,
anymore.
true.
We have
True.
remote controls. Everything. I mean, you don't have to leave your chair. You could order food online, have it delivered to you. You
Oh,
can do
true.
shopping. I mean, you don't even have to move. So it's almost like I have to make myself
Hmm.
move,
Hmm.
you know? Like we'll sometimes ride our bikes to Trader Joe's because it's actually quicker for us to ride our bikes than
I
to
was gonna say
drive
it's bigger for
because we
you
have
to
to
get
go
there
way
because you just go
around, go
across
over
the bridge.
railroad
Yeah.
tracks and yeah.
And then you
But
have to deal with the traffic too. So.
exactly. So little things like that. It's like, no, I'll just jump on my bike and
Hmm.
do that.
Hmm.
Or, you know, just those little things that you don't realize because life has become easier with all the different electronic help, you know?
Very true.
Even your trunk, you just hit a
Oh
button,
yeah, you press a button, it
open.
lifts. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't even have to lift it up. But I remember
Oh
back
gosh, I
I
didn't
remember
think
back
about
in the
that. That's
day,
so funny.
right? Having to lift it,
Yeah.
not having power steering. Remember? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
stick shift, like
Uh,
all these things, that life has become everything has helped us, and it's all good, it's good
yeah.
things.
No, it's
You
not
have
bad.
to,
It's just if we don't get into healthy habits of maybe taking care of ourselves a little differently, especially as women,
yes,
have their own things that they can go do and deal with. But
right?
as women, we've, been around the block a few times. And so
Been around the block.
been around the globe.
Been around the block. But you're right. Women do tend to take it all on themselves. with everything, with the housework, with the cooking, with the child rearing, with the driving
Right,
everywhere,
right.
errands. It's like it's all taking care of the dogs,
Yes. Yeah.
all that stuff.
Well,
It's
think about too, the other thing that we've kind of gotten out of the habit of doing it, which I need to get back into doing it again, but that weighted vest. Just to,
yes.
even if you're going on a short walk with the dog and you put on that weighted vest, which pulls your shoulder, it tends the way the vests work, they kind of pull your shoulders
Mhm.
back and they kind of balance you instead of leaning forward, you're more
Right?
upright. It engages your core and it just gives that just a little bit. And mine is only 10 pounds and
Oh,
it's
10 pounds is
is it
great
10 or
though.
12? I don't remember.
I think it's 10. I
It
had a
might,
12 and then I bought a 10 because
yeah,
the 12 was getting a little too much.
a little much.
Yeah. I
And you
think we,
have to be careful with it too. It's not
yeah,
like wear it for an hour. We're talking, you and I both did it and we would wear it for, like 15,
few
20.
hours. Oh no,
You,
I was
you
wearing it
were
for a
2 hours.
few hours.
I didn't wear mine for two
Mhm.
hours. I guess I did one morning, wear it for
Yeah,
an hour,
like
but
around
it's
the
one of
house
those things. Yeah, around the house. You were
and
vacuuming.
build up. Yes, vacuuming, doing housework with your weighted vest. But I mean, you start, slow,
Yeah.
with a
It's not something you immediately go shove an hour into it because you got to get
yeah,
used to you also don't want to strain your back. There's things,
yeah,
so I don't know. That's maybe not for everybody, but it is kind of a
yeah,
neat tool to go on if you're already going on a walk and you would just want to get a little extra burn in
extra.
there. You just throw one of those on. A lot of people
Absolutely.
wear, carry weights or put those leg and arm weights on, so it's no different than that. I think this is better because it kind of helps you with your posture.
It works your core too.
It really does.
Well, back to posture, but it does work your core because of how it is distributed. It's distributed
Mhm.
evenly all around. I
Yeah.
think mine's like sand or something is in
Yeah,
it.
something like that.
Yeah, so it's really nice. But like you said, just walking the dogs or doing stuff around the house, it does give you that little extra help, I think,
Hmm.
with some of the bone building. I
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
I do think it's great, but like everything else, it's moderation.
Hmm.
Like you said, you don't have to, wear it all day long. Little things like that to incorporate in your everyday life, like parking further, walking
Right.
upstairs, all those
But
little
that's
things.
another, that's a great stabilizer. It's great for balance. You can kind of feel when you're wearing the weighted vest, like
Mhm.
how am I holding myself? You
Right.
know, how do I feel in it? So it's kind of an interesting experiment to do if you have one to
Hmm.
just try it because it's very different. Like walk up the stairs in it, you feel very differently.
Oh, for
Walking up
sure,
and
for
down the
sure.
stairs in it, it's a different feeling. So,
Oh, 100%. It's really interesting too when you do some of these things with the weights like the farmer's carry or the weighted vest. Say somebody who has been working on weight loss,
hmm,
all of a sudden you're wearing like this 10-pound vest and you're moving around and say you lost 10 pounds and realizing, wow, that's a lot of, even though 10 pounds is not tons of weight, but man, when you put it on, like, wow, I was carrying that extra
exactly.
weight around. But I think when you lose weight and then you add that weight like that, it helps with your metabolism. I think it helps boost everything and keep it moving. Because a lot of people, when they do, lose weight, whatnot, their metabolism drops. And
Yeah,
that's the thing about
yeah,
with muscle building is to keep our metabolism up,
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, super important. Super important. So our
Yeah,
balance, our stability, we need it so badly. Incorporate
absolutely.
it to everyday life. Even I have a student of mine, he tells me, it's so sweet. He tells me that he thinks about the balance when he's just putting his leg in his pant or putting his sock on. I love it. I mean, that's awesome.
Sweet.
But
That's
just
awesome.
having, yeah, that thought of, oh, wait, I'm going to do it on this leg that I don't favor and do
Hmm.
that one first. Just simple things like that really
Yeah.
do help, you know. So,
Well, I think we've
anyways,
covered a lot on
yeah,
balance and stability today. I'm sure that will come up later. I'm sure along the way. It's a common theme we talk about. But next episode, it's going to be more about recovery. And what is our saying, B?
not
What?
today.
So on So thanks for joining us today on an
Yes,
A and B conversation. And remember, whatever you do, wherever you're at, all in all, give yourself some grace and just try and move if you get a chance to. Right?
absolutely. Yes,
Okay, we'll see you on the next episode, which is
we
not
will. Not today.